weren't brought up in a Muslim family,
Yes.
do you think you would continue to still be Muslim?
Yes, absolutely. There are people who accept Islam every day. Right here on this table. Right? So essentially, the determination of because people can be born Christian and they leave Christianity. People can be born atheist and they leave atheism. If you look at Pew Research Institute, they have the study, for instance, as the biggest conversion rate in all world religions is Islam. The most people conversion, not birth rate, right? People are choosing to leave, to become Muslim. And if you look at the biggest people who leave a specific religion is Christianity.
Yeah.
Most people who leave today, they leave in
Christianity. That's not to do with the fact that, like, is it not like taught to you that like you kind of failed as a parent if you raise your kids and they leave Islam?
Well, you failed as a parent if you don't teach your parents whatever is your children whatever is good for them.
Yeah.
So if Islam is good and you do teach them is good, of course you failed, right?
Yeah.
Whatever is good, like whatever you believe is good.
Is it like specifically said?
Sorry?
Is it like specifically said, or is it just like culturally implied that your children have to be Muslim?
No. The people we believe, for example, the children that are born in an Islamic family are already Muslim. We believe all children are born Muslim.
Yeah.
Prophet ﷺ said, "Kullu mawludin yuladu ala fitra." Every child is born upon fitra, which is an innate Islamic thing to believe in a creator and submit to him. But then he said the parents will change into a Christian, a Jew, whatever it is, a Hindu, whatever it is. The child is born upon that pure state already. You don't make them a Muslim, already born a Muslim. All that you do is you teach them the specific details of Islam and that which is beneficial to them. That's everything that you do essentially, right? Because you know that's good. You know that is good. You don't think that is good. You know that is good. So you want to teach that which is good to your children. Christian will do the same thing. They will think this is good, so they will teach Christianity, right? And atheists will think, you know what, it's good to be open-minded, right? That's what they will call. So keep your child open-minded. Like that's what they believe is good, which is liberalism. Actually, they believe in liberalism. They don't even know it. So everyone would have an ideology and would believe the ideology is the right ideology, and they, based on that, they will raise their children based on the ideology, whatever it is.
I'm not sure if I agree though, because like my parents, like, my mum goes to church, but she didn't necessarily like make me go, and my dad doesn't. But he's never told me what to believe.
How often does she go to church?
It's definitely not like 3 times a week. She goes to like special occasions like Christmas, Easter.
Thank you.
But she does the flowers there every week, so maybe she does now. I don't know.
Do you know what culturally Christian is?
Sorry, what?
Culturally Christian person. Culturally Christian.
Yeah.
That's majority of Christians in the UK. They don't.
I'm probably a lot of atheists as well.
Sorry?
And probably a lot of people who don't believe in anything.
Yeah, when I say culturally Christian, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Meaning they're born, they baptized as a child.
Yeah.
Someone asks me, are you Christian? Yeah, I'm Christian. What do you mean by Christian? They don't believe in Jesus, they don't read the Bible, they don't believe in the teachings of faith, they don't believe they should abide by it. That's not what Christian is. So when you tell me my parents were liberal in a way in their ideology, I mean they live in their life the way they want, they're not abided by the scripture. Of course, why do they need to teach you? They don't need to teach you.
Yes.
Most of the so-called Christian in the West today are liberals, not Christians. They're called Christians in the stats, you know, the UK census, but in reality, they are just living the life. You know, they've been baptized as a child, and whatever they think is good, they would do it. They don't. Okay, let me read the Bible. Probably don't know any. If I say, tell me 2 verses of the Bible, they will not be able to say it. But the thing is, they will still say we're Christians, right?
Yeah.
That is the reality. So you cannot say that is a Christian person. Go now to the preachers, people who preach, right? Look how they deal with their children. When it comes to religion, they will teach them religion because they actually firmly believe in it, right? They actually practice it in their life. It's not the same thing. The difference between Muslims though and other religions is that Muslims actually practice. It's the most practiced religion. Not only the biggest growing, but it's also the most practiced. Meaning majority, if you look at stats, the overwhelming majority have some level of practicing Islam, right? All of these brothers, if they're Muslims, they will know a part of the Quran. If I tell them now recite Surah Al-Fatiha, they will recite it. If I tell them recite Surah Ikhlas, they will. If I say something, they will continue. If I say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, they will say the next verse. You're a Muslim, right? Who's Muslims? You. They will do. Okay, sorry. So you're in between, so I was like, all right. So if they're Muslims, they will know. If I say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, they'll say the next verse. Maliki Yawmiddin. That's it. They're finishing after me, right? And there is a scripture, right? And from memory. So you'll find that Muslims are practicing. They know about their faith more than other religions. They practice more than other people. They're not perfect. There are many bad Muslims, to be clear, of course. But they are more practicing than any other faith. right? So yeah, there's a question.
Ask about pork.
About pork.
You know your question about pork?
Yeah, what was it? Yeah, so
It's not morally wrong.
yeah, so like some things like obvious. Like I think he got a bit misunderstood. I understand why like alcohol's banned, even though I do drink myself. I understand why like people do like bad things or whatever. And then like a lot of things that probably say like everyone knows things like murder are bad, but something like pork or eating pork or like, and I don't understand what the moral issue is with that. Like, do you think there's any like logical reason why in this day and age you can't eat food when like it's known not to be harmful?
Well, generally, okay. You want to say something else?
Or is it like you just believe, like you just accept that you don't know the answer, but you just trust the book?
Yeah, so the most important thing is this, is it's not trust the book. You've already proved the book is from God. Once you already establish the book is from God, then every detail of it is not going to be questioned. That's irrational, because we already established the basis, foundation, that this is from God. This is from God. God knows more than me. If He's telling me do X, I will do it. We go to human beings that are more knowledgeable than us and we don't even question. You go to the doctor, okay, take this medicine. Oh, but why this specific? You don't do that. You just take it, okay, go buy it, start taking it. Because we know that person is more knowledgeable in that field in a specific angle, right? Yeah. So we submit to their knowledge, right? We submit to the knowledge of the Most High because we know this is from the Most High, right? So that is the answer to any moral question. But when you look at pork, I don't know how someone can eat pork. Even if I was not Muslim, I'm not going to eat pork, right? The reason being is like, pork lives where? Where does it live? Where does it eat?
In the mud.
Huh?
In the mud, in its own shit. Like.
Yeah. It lives in the filthiest of places. It eats the filthiest of places. It's a bowl of filth, essentially. That's what it is. You're eating a bowl of filth. That's what you're eating. Like, let's be honest. It lives in filth. It eats filth, and it dies in filth. That's it. Right?
Tastes fine though.
No. Okay, but this is the thing.
And there's no like harmful effects, right?
There are people who will say to you, cocaine is like, is the best thing I had. Doesn't mean it's good. It makes you feel a certain way, a good way, a fuzzy way, does not mean it's good for you. So to say just because something tastes good, therefore it's good. There are very poisonous mushrooms that probably taste amazing. I'll cook it for you and then you can have it, right? Because just because it tastes good does not mean that you will do it.
But as in like it might have like a bit higher fat content or something, but objectively it is something different. It's not like toxic in the way that cocaine is, or what the poisonous mushrooms are. It's not just another food. Like I'm sure there are plenty of foods that you eat.
It's not just another food. That's incorrect.
There'll be plenty of foods that you eat. Well, you might be like absolutely perfect. But
I'm not, of course.
But like, there's some foods you probably eat that you know are bad for you, and they're probably objectively worse for you than pork, and like from a health perspective.
You see, that's the problem that you have. Is do you think I behave based on what I determine is good and bad? We already answer that. I live my life as a Muslim based on the one who knows everything, who determines for me what I can and I cannot do, right? I can eat certain things as long as they're permissible, then that means I'm allowed to eat them. I cannot excess in them, is the thing. I cannot excess in eating them. That's a different story. So for example, our sugars, someone can eat sugars. Excessing in it is a problem. Someone can eat fast food once a week is not a problem, but excessing in the thing is a problem. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا, eat and drink. وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا, do not excess. Allah doesn't love those who go to excess. Allah says those who go to excess are the brothers of Satan. إِنَّ الْمُسْرِفِينَ كَانُوا إِخْوَانَ الشَّيَاطِينَ, right? So those who go to excess are the brothers of Satan. Essentially, you cannot do this. So the limit is the excess. You can eat, you can drink, you can wear, you can do all of these things. Islam is not about being a monk, bald, married, some mountain, That's
always a question of like you as the individual to interpret what excess means.
No,
there's no like hard limit on excess.
No.
Like, what might be excess for you? Like I barely like any sugar. Like if I was having like a pack of biscuits, I'd have one, and that's any more than that'd be excess for me. But for someone else, they could have 5. Like,
would anyone disagree that eating the same that fast food every day is excess? No, there are objective standards that all human beings are going to agree this is excess and this.
Like some people would say,
I'm coming to you.
Like maybe like a marathon runner would be like, I wouldn't have it ever.
No, I'm coming to you. Yeah, but that means he's not taking it. We're talking about the definition of excess. That's irrelevant to the definition of excess, right?
But as in, like, some people would be like, 3 times a week, it's not that bad.
Okay, that's fine. No problem. I'm coming to the point that you're making. I'm saying to you that first let's agree this is the objective standard. Majority will agree this is excess. For instance, to eat something every day. So there are objective standards. It's not all subjective, as you said, right? It's the first thing I'm established. Second thing is, what determines excess or not is the damage that will do to you, because you're not allowed to harm yourself. Allah says in the Quran, وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ, do not throw yourself into damnation. Prophet ﷺ said you can't harm yourself or anyone else. لَا ضَرَّ وَلَا ضَرَارَ. These are the objective standards in which we would use that this is excess or not excess, because it's damaging your health. So there are objective standards, don't worry.
Okay.
Look, I'll guarantee you, whatever question you bring, Islam has an answer for.
Okay, one more, right?
Yes.
So all everything's in the Quran's already been written. Is it just like a given that like no other like super knowledgeable guy could ever be a prophet? Like it seems
Sure.
like all these things happened like so long ago. It's hard to like relate to. Like there's no one about today that could give you more actual information that you have to follow.
Sure.
They can only interpret stuff from the past.
Sure. So, what is a prophet and a messenger? Prophet is someone who receives revelation, right, from God, and a messenger is the one who delivers them. When you get revelation, then you deliver. You're a messenger of God, prophet and a messenger, right? So, prophet and a messenger is someone who gives information from God and delivers it to the creation. Okay. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ came. He gave us the message that Allah said is eternal message, meaning we don't need anything else to do until the day of judgment. Okay. Now, the message is here or is not here? Is here and it's preserved. Now, if Allah Azza wa Jal sends another messenger, the messenger is going to say to you, don't eat pork, don't have okay, but I just have Quran is already saying the same thing to me.
There's no new teachings.
Sorry?
You think there could be no new teachings? Like, obviously the world's completely different than it was like 2000. Not completely different. There are a lot of similarities. The way people live their lives now are so different than it was like how it like thousands.
Bring something, I'll tell you the ruling of it. Simple, right? Thing is this, the Prophet also Allah gave us standards, right? Things that we can use, principles that we can use to extrapolate rulings of anything new that will come.
Okay.
Right? There are many principles. Qiyas is one of them, which is analogy. You make something analogous to the other. And there are general principles. I'll give you an example of a general principle. The Prophet said himself. The Prophet said that, I already gave you a general principle actually about harm. You cannot harm anyone or yourself. That whoever harms, whoever is going to come in the future that will harm, is therefore by that default, by that principle, is impermissible. Another principle the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever intoxicate is alcohol, and alcohol is impermissible, right? So any intoxicant in the future that takes you out of your rational faculties, drugs, heroin, whatever you want to call it, name it what you name it. That narration 1,400 years ago already includes it. So there are these principles, foundational principles that we use to extrapolate rulings to do things that are coming in the future. And God is all-knowing. He knows what is going to come. Whatever is going to come, He knows.
This is the last one. Okay. So if humans have been around for like how many years? Like I don't know, like 500,000.
We don't know.
500,000. Like,
no, that's incorrect. We don't know.
Okay, right.
Because the reason I'm telling you is incorrect is because I've looked into what evolutionists claim, for example, and every time we find a fossil that is older. Now there's a fossil that we found 6 to 7 million years actually for human beings that exist today, and I can show it to you if you like. So it's not what you've been taught in universities. Is what I'm going to tell you. But go ahead. Yes.
No, that's like irrelevant to the question.
Yeah, no problem.
So you're saying that humans been like 62 million years ago?
No. I'm saying this was the oldest we found. I'm saying we don't know.
Yeah, well, they've been around for how long?
Oh, we've been around too long.
I'm willing to like. That's irrelevant. That's not my point. My point is, why would God wait until only like 1,000 years ago or 1,500 years ago to send His message out?
Great question. We don't believe Allah waited. We believe in all the prophets and messengers of God. We believe Adam, the first human being, was a prophet of God. We believe David was a prophet of God.
But
Noah was a prophet of God.
Why couldn't they managed to document some of their like teachings? They managed to document some of their teachings?
Well, the Quran does.
So, but as in, like, why couldn't they all come to? Who was the first one? Adam.
Adam's the first. He's going to be the first because the first human being. Yes. The thing is, Allah, as I said to you, the word Muslim means to submit to the Creator as well, Allah as well. Every prophet that came throughout history submitted to Allah as well. They had the same teachings about God. There's one God, hellfire, heaven, angels, etc. But they had different shari'ahs. Sharia is the principles that you'll implement in society. Because people were different, societies were different, as you said. Therefore, Allah, based on the wisdom, gave that prophet or messenger a specific set of rules that the society will follow. Not the beliefs. They believe the same thing, right? But they had different set of rules that they followed. And Allah sent to every nation a messenger. Then, after the Prophet Muhammad, Allah Azza wa Jal knows there will be global communication. I can tell you about Islam now on the phone. You're in the end of the planet, and I'm in the other side of the planet. But using a small computer, I can tell you about the message of Islam. I can tell you what is good. I can give you the message, whatever it is, right? And so Allah had this Quran with these perfect principles that will remain until the end of time. And He sent Prophet Muhammad 1,400 years ago. We don't believe He was the only messenger. We believe there was other messengers, as I said to you.
They just been like forgotten about, like they're like in Australia before anyone like colonized it.
Yeah, so we believe, this is the thing, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ wasalam. Allah told us in the Quran first before the Prophet is after he mentioned some of the Prophet, he said minhum man qasasna alayka wa minhum man lam naqsus alayk. Some of them we've told you about them and some we've not told you about them. Okay? And there's a narration of the Prophet that mentions over 100,000 prophets, etc. We do not, Allah is not going to give names, a book of names, 100,000 names of different people and their stories. Allah chose certain prophets and messengers, and He gave us the wisdoms relevant from their life, some events that happen from them, right? The wisdoms relevant to us. Story of Moses, specific here, specific event that happened in his life. It's not like all his life is there, but the events, the stories that we can get from them morals, right? Yeah. Specific to our life today, Allah told us about them. Moses, Jesus, John the Baptist, who you call John the Baptist, we call Yahya, we got Abraham, we got Noah, all of these people, Adam, all of them, Allah tells, you'll find stories about them in the Quran. Joseph, there's a whole chapter about him. Mary, the mother of Jesus, all of these people. Yeah, that's fine, no problem. I'm not keeping a limit for you. You're making the limit, you know what I mean? Like, yes, right. Yes.
Why just got allowed such horrible things to happen? Like your friend was talking about like babies getting killed in Palestine.
All right.
Why is he allowing this to happen?
Sure. So
he's like all powerful. Like,
yes. So there is an assumption then, just because God is all powerful, that therefore God is going to stop us from doing something. That's not the case, and I'll say why. Because the purpose of our existence is what? We believe this life is a test. If this life is a test, then people must be able to do evil just like they're able to do good. You need to have that choice. And if you can have that choice, then there will be evil by necessity. If the only thing you could do is good, then this life cannot be a test. And there's no point of you existing here.
I say, someone can still do a bad thing, but they can be like punished for it. But you're saying the punishment always comes out like the next life.
Yeah, the thing is, no one escapes the punishment, right? This is the whole point of the Day of Judgment. Judging what? Judging how you lived your life, how you behave. No one escapes God, right? If you escaped Him in this life, even escaped Him is incorrect because He allows you, right? You cannot escape Him. But if you survived in this life, let's say, you didn't get punished, then in the afterlife, the punishment is waiting for you. Not afterlife, the minute you die, punishment is there. The minute your soul is taken away, you're already being punished from an Islamic point of view, right? So no one escapes punishment. No one escapes retribution. But that's also an answer to many of the people who say, these fuzzy, butterfly people who say, why is hellfire there? So Allah is showing you examples of people who deserve to go to hellfire, how evil and bad, corrupt these individuals are, right? So there's many wisdoms behind Allah allowing this. He tests the faith of the people who are believers. Are you going to persevere even though you're going through difficulties? There's so many wisdoms that we can see behind these things happening in today.
So up until this point, I'm not living my life as a Muslim in any capacity, but I still could potentially be forgiven by Allah. But if I've been killed in a conflict, which is like someone else's evil deed, it's got a limit in my opportunity. Like if I had a full lifespan, then I would have the opportunity to find God. But
does it matter? Because
I'd be punished if I.
Of course, because Allah, look, you'll only be punished. There's a condition for people to be punished in Islam. Condition is get the message of Islam, the message of the truth, the clear message, not the media message of Islam, which is not Islam, right? The truthful message of what Islam is, right? And then you will know deep down is the truth, because He will answer your concerns. It will be logical, rational, consistent. You will know deep down is the truth, and based on that, you would reject it. If you reject it and you die upon rejecting it, then you go to hellfire. Now, when do you die? No one knows. Anyone can die anytime. So you could die before someone can die. Every single person that exists has a separate, different test than other person. My test is different than his test, than your test, than everyone's test. Everyone's test is individual. To them, to their capacity. Allah knows your capacity, and He says He doesn't overwhelm you more than you can handle. Question is, if you then knew Islam was the truth and got the message, why are you waiting until this idiot comes and takes your life away? What was keeping you off disobeying the Creator?
Maybe I'm a bad example. Maybe there's No,
I'm saying in general. I'm saying in general, right? Why is that person waiting? Is what I'm saying.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes. Well, let's see if his question is done. Your question is done?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my friend here, he's not a Muslim, right?
Yes.
So if he gains the knowledge of Islam, if I keep trying to give him the message, give him dawah,
yes,
he's now gained the knowledge.
Okay.
He's now he can now be sent to the hellfire if he dies. So then why would I give him that message?
I know your question. Okay, look, Allah says the people who don't get the message in this life have a separate test in the Day of Judgment. Now the test that they will have is a prophet will be sent to them, and they will either listen to the prophet or not listen to the prophet. The person who will be tested on the Day of Judgment is the same friend that is here today. If he rejects the message today, he will reject the message in the afterlife. Meaning you're not really changing anything. He's the same individual, or otherwise it's not a test. You get what I'm trying to say? Some people think like it's a common question. I was, oh, if I didn't tell him, maybe he's like, no. If he doesn't, if he rejects it now, he will reject it when the test is presented to him, because it's the same person, same individual, same ideas, right? And it's the same test.
Would the Prophet not maybe be able to articulate it in a better way though?
But this is the thing. The truth, we have something innate which we call the fitrah, right? Innate, which we call the fitrah. Fitrah is an innate disposition that we're born with. That innate disposition knows the Creator, recognizes the Creator. We're born believing in a Creator, and we know the truth deep down within. But it's covered by society, by family, etc. When someone tells you the truth, right? Allah will put someone in your path in which He will make sense to you. Okay? Allah says in the Quran, سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا فِي الْآفَاقِ. We'll show them our signs in the horizon. And within themselves until it's clear to them. Allah says it's not upon the messenger except clear delivery of the message.
You're talking about pork before.
Okay.
Talk to him. Well, there are all animals that eat their own excrement. Like
There are?
Chickens eat their own excrement.
Yes.
So if you go based off how the animal's filthy,
Okay.
it's not the only animal that's filthy, but chicken's okay to eat. So what other reasons are there?
Like chickens don't live in filth and eat filth and die in filth.
So there's a line then.
Sorry?
So there's like a threshold of how filthy the animal.
No, there's no threshold. That's why I made the principle for him. I told him the determination for what we can and cannot eat is based on Creator's commands, right? I made that principle clear, right? But I made an example. I said if you look at pig, that's why I said even if I'm not Muslim, I would be disgusted with eating it. I get a pig. Chickens can live a very clean life. They're not filthy. They live there, and if they're out there, they will eat and they will walk, and they don't like filth. They're not around filth at all. Chickens are very healthy, man. I like chickens.
Another one. So I think we all circumcised at birth, aren't you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Was I circumcised at birth?
No,
Yes.
no, that's common practice in Islam. From my knowledge,
Yes. And in Judaism and in Christianity, supposedly.
In my opinion, I think that's a really barbaric practice. You're cutting off part of the child. I know that you don't feel it, but it's not their choice. They don't get to do it, and you're taking away part of it, essentially.
Yeah, so
what's the justification for that being okay? Because based off modern science, it actually doesn't make it much cleaner. If you practice good health practices, if you clean in the shower, it shouldn't make that much of a difference if you're well.
Back in the day, I guess, like, if you don't have a shower very often, like, it makes sense.
No, but if it's the truth's always the truth, then that shouldn't make a difference. So.
okay, but if the truth has been the truth, arguing against yourself, then it should be relevant even for that time, not just for today. So that time is also important, right? I'm just hypothetically arguing against you. But the thing is this, right? Again, these moral practices, the same answer. I give a principle for that reason. The moral practices that we do is based on the wisdom of the Creator that knows everything, right? Now, you're saying it's what you're doing, you're applying a modern standard of liberalism. You don't even know it, but you are, which is the idea of consent. You cannot even define consent if I ask you to. Because at what age does a person consent? What indicates that the statement is considered consent? What statements that they say is considered consent? When can we say this is consenting, when is not? If a girl has a cup of one drink, is that consent or not consent if she has intercourse with you? I can go on and on and on and tell you how ridiculous laws are in the UK when it comes to consent. And that's why we have a lot of issues with, you have, not us, because we don't do it. You have a lot of issues with women saying I've been abused, I didn't actually consent, I had a drink. However, there is no clear definition in the law. I've done research, and you're welcome to do your own. There's no clear definition of what constitutes consent. Now, if a patient is under a little bit of hallucination, can he give consent? Can someone else give consent on his behalf? Who gives consent on his behalf, right? Consent is, you might think is a simple thing. It's not a simple thing, okay? But again, this is a principle that is a Western, very modern principle. Right. Taking that concept, you're saying a baby, in the case in which you will say, is not able to consent anyways, so you will do the best decisions on their behalf. I'll use the same standard. Okay, a baby cannot consent. Do not feed it milk. Maybe it wants water. Who told you to feed it milk? It doesn't consent. That's such a barbaric behavior. But you will say,
the baby would die if you didn't feed it.
Okay, thank you.
No harm would come of it.
I agree. So now it's not about the consent. You're arguing the same argument as me. So it's no longer about consent. It's about what is beneficial for the child. Thank you. So I agree with that. What is beneficial? Is circumcision beneficial for the child? Yes, it is, and therefore we say that's why we do
Why
it.
is it beneficial for the child?
Because the Creator commanded it. And the one who made you, and me, knows about me more than you. Like if I make this phone, I know every little detail of how it functions more than you would, right? And circumcision, it has an effect on the level of desire the individual have, long term, for the rest of their life. The level of sexual desire, right? Because I don't want to go into details, you know, I'm a little uncomfortable about it, right? But because what it covers, right? This is the most sensitive part, right?
Yeah.
So it has an influence on lessening the desire of the man as well. So there are wisdoms that we can talk about, but essentially we don't base the commands on the wisdoms that we find. We know by necessity, if God commanded it, He is all wise, there has to be wisdom. We can reach some of them, maybe we can not reach some of them in other commands.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm inferring from what you said it's not really to be cleaner, it's just God said so.
We're not saying, who said to you to be cleaner? We don't say that.
No, so it's because it's a word of God, and that's what
To be cleaner could be another wisdom, right?
Okay.
Because it's from God,
Right.
then it's wise. Now we can try with unlimited intellect to find what are the wisdoms.
you trying-
Okay, maybe the one wisdom is cleaner. It's not wise, even one wisdom. There could be many. It's not. It's cleaner. One wisdom. Another wisdom is the idea of desire that I mentioned to you. You can go through many wisdoms. Faith is all wise. It's not just one wisdom within a thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Other questions?
No, I don't think
All right. So, what do you guys believe in? Let me ask you a question. What do you guys believe in?
go first.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I necessarily believe in like a higher power or even like a afterlife.
Okay.
But I do believe that there is like right and wrong. So what the principles that you believe, I imagine I believe as well.
Okay. So you believe in a level of right and wrong. What about you?
But I say the things that well, you're saying things that Allah just knows more.
Okay.
I don't accept those.
Okay.
So things like, well, if I don't think it's going to be harmful to me,
Sure.
I'm fine making my own decision on that. I'm not going to leave it to someone else.
But your God is your own self, is your desires. You find it tastes good, that's why you want to eat it. Well, you admitted that, by the way.
No, but I can admit that, like, well, not admit, I'd say that, like, I know something can be good, you can have too much of a good thing.
Look, let's be honest with each other, right? You don't eat pork because it's healthy. You eat pork because it tastes nice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a desire thing, is what I'm trying to say.
But it's not like,
I'm not shaming you for it, I'm just making it clear, right? What about you? Yes?
So yeah, I don't practice any religion.
Okay.
But I'm not going to say, because like, I could go, oh yeah, believe in the Big Bang, but I don't know what happened.
Okay.
I'm not a scientist, and I could try to cite sources, but at the end of the day, I don't know.
Okay.
But I believe, live a good life, be a good person, that's all that matters. And at the end of the day, I think we share a lot of similar beliefs, like Don said. I think we share a lot of similar beliefs.
Sure.
I believe, if you're not hurting anyone, keep
Liberalism. You're defining liberalism. That's why I said to you, you're influenced by liberalism, you don't even know it.
The only metric that matters is how good you are as a person, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're essentially a liberalist, but you just don't know it, which is most people in the West, essentially. Okay, this is my question, right? You said you believe in level of right and wrong, you said the same thing, right? My question is, who determines what is right and wrong? Where do you get morality from?
I don't believe there's any arbiter of right and wrong. I believe
There's no right and wrong then.
I think, well, I have a sense of right and wrong.
Yeah, that's subjective. There's no right and wrong there.
I don't think it is objective.
I say it comes from, I think everyone has the right to, you don't have the right to take someone else's life freely.
Who determines that? Where do we get?
It has to be.
Huh?
I don't think it's unified. Everyone has their own definition.
Yeah, you don't believe in objective morality. We already established that. I'm asking him. It's the same position.
I guess I do.
Yeah. Okay. Subjective.
Yeah.
Therefore, there's no morality. There's no right or wrong. You cannot say there's right or wrong in your worldview. All you can say is subjectively for me, there's right or wrong.
Okay.
In the real world, there is no right and wrong.
Okay.
In the real world, there's no right or wrong. So killing a baby is not right or wrong. Actually, it's just you think is right or wrong.
It's wrong to me.
Yeah, you think is wrong, right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Which is ridiculous, essentially. To say that there is no objective standard for right, every human being innately knows certain things are wrong. Innately they know, because we mentioned the fitrah. Every human being will have that innate thing that will determine, okay, this is objectively wrong. So the thing is, when you say, for instance, you can say eating pork is bad, and he says eating pork is good. The action of eating pork, external of the two of you, is neither right or wrong, based on the idea that morality is subjective. You see, that is the end result of atheism, nihilism. Is you can do whatever you like, chop heads off like Stalin did, he was a nihilist, by the way, and he didn't believe it was right or wrong. So you know what, rearranging atoms, some atoms here, there. I have power. Let me then take domination over the world. It's not right or wrong. If I think is right, then it's right. So you're the God of your own self in this issue, and you lead yourself into damnation because you're a limited being. You cannot determine what is right or wrong in the end. I cannot determine because I'm a limited being. We're all limited beings. We cannot reach an end result of what is right or wrong. Right? You want to say something?
Yeah. So you're saying, for us it's subjective. Well, I think maybe different to what he thinks, but I'm willing to listen. So if he says something's right and I think it's wrong, I'm willing to hear his side and I'm willing to shift my own self-belief of what is and what right is wrong.
But again, it's still irrelevant because you will shift from a subjective view to another subjective view. It doesn't matter, right? Still in the end, based on the person's his determination now made sense to you. So you shifted into a subjective view. You chose to shift. It's also a subjective decision. All of it is going to be subjectivity in the end. The reason we would say as Muslims is objective, we take objective morality is because God is objective. Objective from what sense? What do we mean? We mean that God is all-knowing, all-powerful, etc., all-wise. So He knows this is the ultimate best decision. There is no doubt about it, right? Now, so that is the part about morality. I believe you'll just, if you understood atheism properly, you'll be the most depressed person on earth. Cannot be meaning, cannot account for your own rationality to begin with, and you cannot account for morality. And you can do your research on what nihilism is and understand the implications of not believing in a specific God or specific religion. Now, the second thing is this: can something come from nothing? Absolute nothingness. No energy, no space, no matter, nothing.
No, where would Allah come from?
Sorry?
Where would Allah come from?
It doesn't come from anything because it's nothing. Can something come from...
Say how is nothing.
Oh, you said where our world come from? I didn't hear your question.
Where could Allah come from?
Where could Allah come from? Yeah. Let's first agree on the principle. Can something come from nothing?
Adultery is punishment in Islam.
I'll finish with them and then I'll come to you. What is the answer to the question? Can something come from absolute nothingness? Before we move into Allah.
I don't think so, no.
No, right? You agree?
I can't say that. I agree.
Yes. Absolute nothingness is nothing. No energy, no matter, no space. 0 plus 0 plus 0 will always be 0, right? Cannot have something that comes into existence. If this was the case, that you cannot have something that comes into existence, then the fact that we exist today necessitates the existence of an eternal thing. I'll take that very slowly. Say that very slowly. If everything has a beginning, right? We cannot exist because that thing will require that thing will require that thing, and nothing will exist. It's called, you'll go back infinite regression, right? If we exist, that means there was a starting point that does not have a starting point, and that's what we call the creator. So you say, where did Allah come from? He doesn't come because you need starting point that is eternal, always existing, or we cannot even exist. Okay? So we look at the world now. So we establish one thing, which is there has to be an eternal thing. There's no doubt about that because we exist today, and that's a fact. Now, there is something that is eternal. We look at the universe. Whatever brought the universe into existence, it has a starting point, the Big Bang, whatever name you want to call it. It's when the energy and matter is compressed into singularity. Whatever brought that energy and matter into singularity and expanded it has to possess certain attributes. You cannot have the universe without knowledge that we can't even comprehend, ultimate knowledge we can't even comprehend. Looking at the variables in the universe, how precise, detailed it is, electromagnetic waves, galaxies, stars, all of things. Everything is as precise as it can be, right? Power. You split an atom, you have nuclear explosions. The whole universe is atoms. The amount of energy and power we cannot even comprehend. So whatever brought the universe into existence and possesses these attributes, eternality, all of these attributes brought the universe into existence, power and knowledge, is what we call the creator. And that exists by necessity, by the way. It's not maybe yes, maybe. It has to. Or the universe cannot exist.
What's the punishment of adultery?
Go ahead.
I also believe, though, like you said there's something, there's a start.
Can be patient. Patience is good.
There's a start, okay. I believe personally, everything we know from our daily life, there's a beginning, right? Naturally, that's what we believe. I believe it just is, and everything is, like, in the sense that there isn't a start, there isn't a creator, everything's propagated from the creator's doings and actions. I believe everything just is because it is. I don't really...
There's the biggest cop-out I heard today, you know? It's like I open my fridge and I find eggs and I say, how the eggs come there? There just is.
No,
that's not an answer.
Why does it have to be a creator? So you're saying it has to be... I'm saying everything just has always existed.
Yes.
Has always existed.
No, that's not what he's saying something else.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Articulate very well.
Alright, so that's what you're saying. Yeah, what you said was different by that.
That's what I meant, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. So if you say that everything was eternal, then you have admitted and accepted the existence of something eternal, but you just don't want to accept that it's the creator. Because we chose...
The universe is the creator.
No, I'm saying that you are inconsistent because you're willing not to believe in God, to accept the attributes of God on something else, which is not conscious or a being, and not willing to accept it in the creator just because you don't want to believe in the creator. So it's not about rationality. Reason being, I'm coming to that.
Another option.
And I'm saying the problem with it. I'm saying if we accept the existence of something eternal already, which has to be the case already, we already said, first we will ask the evidences. Where's the evidence the universe is eternal? The evidences that we have shows us the universe has a starting point. That's the first thing. Second thing is, see, what is the universe? The universe is what...
We're still agreeing up until this point. point though. I don't that's not the point. It's proving you right or wrong. We're both saying like the universe.
No problem, no issue. So I'm saying if it's a hypothetical situation that is not true, we don't consider hypotheticals unless there's evidences for it. That's what I'm going to say. Because the universe is everything we see, trees, galaxies, stars, and all of these things have a starting point. None of it is eternal. None of it is always existent, right? We say simply like this, right? We know the universe based on the evidences that we have as a starting point, and then we, based on that, because we know the universe itself is atoms and molecules and whatever it is, it's not conscious. It's not conscious. It does not make decisions on its own. For it requires an external entity or something else to bring it into existence.
I'm talking to this man, and the camera is there. I asked 2 questions. What's the punishment?